It's time now for A Bigger Picture with Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. Dr. Dan, how are you, sir?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel a little unprepared because usually we kind of have an idea ahead of time.
Yeah.
We talk a little bit, and then it's like, oh, we wasted all the good stuff before we even started talking.
Turning over a whole new leaf
So
here.
today I was like, what are we going to talk about? He goes, let's just start talking and find out.
So I want to forward an idea.
Okay.
Radical, different, strange, unusual,
All right.
mildly threatening. But if you're having a problem, if you're having an issue, particularly if you've kind of had this issue before,
Oh, yeah.
which a lot of the problems we have, I don't know if you've noticed.
Repetitive.
But I've had this problem before.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here and done this before.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, this sure seems familiar.
And I try to solve it the same way every time, and
Right.
it doesn't work.
And so the thing to stop for a second, take a deep breath, and say out loud is maybe it's me.
Maybe it is me, and it usually is.
Maybe it's me. But and then to take a step beyond that, take another breath and go, no, it's probably me.
Yeah.
It's probably me. And this is incredibly important because especially if we're having the same problem over and over again.
Yeah.
We're not really seriously taking in the idea that maybe it's us or it's probably us. What we're doing in most cases is we're either rationalizing what's going on. Oh, this is what happens to me, and this, bad luck, or that people just don't like me. All the rationalizations we tell ourselves. Does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or we end up doing the same thing, and then actually we get sympathy.
Oh, yeah.
For it, and that that gives it a real upside. Or we end up blaming other people. We're like,
Exactly.
it's someone else's fault, or they
It's
did
usually
this.
Heidi's fault. So.
Well, absolutely. Having met her, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's almost always my fault.
But what we do is we go through this whole song and dance where sometimes we just sort of distract ourselves and don't pay any attention to it all and just go on to do it again.
Yeah.
But we have this series of gymnastics that we go through rather than just taking a breath going, you know what, if I'm having a problem, it's probably me.
Yeah.
And if I'm having this problem
Often.
repeatedly, it almost certainly is me.
Yeah.
And what that does is that allows you to very, very calmly and very honestly just stop and go, okay, what do I need to do differently here?
Yeah. And what am I doing that's leading up to this point?
Right. Because if it's me, it's something that it's something that I'm thinking, it's something that I'm feeling, it's something that I'm doing, or a combination thereof. And really what's happening in the world is people aren't really ever stopping to do this because it is so cool and feels so wonderful for the things in your life that are going on, the problems that you're having, to have nothing to do with you and to not be your fault, to be someone else's fault, where you get to be the good guy and they get to be the bad guy. And
if only somebody else would fix what they're doing.
Right. If Bob would just change the way he's doing this, I wouldn't be having this problem right now. And that's really cool, but nothing ever changes. Why? Because you can't control what someone else does.
Yeah.
The only control you have in this reality we live in is you.
Yeah.
And if you can start with the place that, okay, I probably need to change something that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like I said, it could be something you're thinking. It could be the way you feel about this.
Yeah.
It could be the excuses you're giving yourself, the rationalizations, what you're telling yourself in your head, whatever it is. But something's got to change. And especially again, if you're having the problem over and over and over again, unless or until you take responsibility for that, you become accountable for that, and you become accountable for the process of changing it, it's probably never going to change. You're going to continue to do this over and over and over again. Yeah. And that's what's happening to so many of us. And we like to, I don't understand why. Yeah. Well, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. And you know what? Even if it isn't you, it's you anyway, because it's the only thing you can really do. Yeah. It's the only part of life you have any control over at all. And to really take that one down and go, you know what, I'm going to change me. I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to see this differently. And of course, and I'm not suggesting you let people run all over you or anything like that.
No, I don't think anyone would.
But there's a lot of gray area between I'm going to let people run all over me and gosh, maybe there's something I can do differently around here.
Yeah.
And this is just incredibly important and simple. You want to change your life? Maybe it's you.
Change yourself.
If you absolutely want to change your life, it's probably you.
Yeah.
Do something different.
And sometimes it's just being intentional. If it's, whatever that thing is, if you're going, okay, it seems like this is always happening. Well, maybe if I do this instead, I'm going to get a different result. So it's just being intentional to try something new. And change is hard, man.
Change is hard. And all of us are so desperately afraid of being to blame.
Yeah.
We're desperately afraid of being to blame. And unconsciously, our knee-jerk reactions to that are to deny it or delete it or destroy it or whatever it is. Our first instinct is not to step in and go, maybe it's me.
Yeah.
And it's just simply our fear of being to blame, which we've carried since we're very young,
Yeah.
and the experiences we've had. But you know what? Take a breath. You're going to be all right.
Absolutely.
You can take responsibility for this. You can learn to take some blame and do it, with a smile and say, hey, I'm gonna make some changes. I'm gonna do this differently.
If somebody listening would like help making those changes, something that we've discovered, my wife and I are utilizing hypnosis through Sioux Falls Hypnosis, and it's helped us make some changes that were really hard for us to make on our own.
Right.
And I don't want to say that they're like easy now, but they're easier for sure. But I don't want to oversell it. I don't want people going, oh, I do this and it's like this magic thing. There's no magic involved, but there's certainly some assistance. If somebody listening is going, I would like that assistance, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can look us up on the web at SiouxFallsHypnosis.com, or you can call us directly at 605-702-6691. Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, all those places, we're there, and give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Very nice. Dr. Dan, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
He's with Sioux Falls Hypnosis, and you can find them online. You can also find this radio program as a podcast. You can find that at SiouxFallsPodcast.com.